Hi everyone, welcome back to Books, Tea and Biscuits. Today's video is going to be a little different because we're not actually doing any book reviews today. You're going to be asking each other sets of questions. So we've both got them wrote down. I'm going to go first asking my questions, but we're both going to answer the questions. So are you ready for your questions? Yeah. Let me have a sip of my tea. Always have to have our tea, there we go. Okay, so first question, Joe. Right, how many books are too many books in a series?
It depends on the series, I think. If it's a series that you really like, it won't matter how many books there are in the series, except maybe you'd want it to come to an end at some point. If it's a series that's it's okay, then I'd say about 6 books. But as I say, it depends on the series and it depends how good the author is. What about you?
I was going to say about 6 or 7 again, but again, I don't like to read when series have about 20 books in, let's say, like A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin, which a TV show Game of Thrones was based on. He's still writing that. Yeah, he's still writing that. And I don't know what number book he's on, but they haven't, the TV show's finished already. But yeah, like 6 or 7 is my limit, I think. Okay, ready for number 2?
I am.
How do you feel about cliffhangers in books?
If there's a follow-on book, great, because then you sort of get closure because you know what's going to happen. Well, you don't know what's going to happen until you read the second book. But if there isn't a follow-on book, I don't like it because it's frustrating. Yeah. Unless it's one of these books where you can interpret it how you want to and you put the ending how you want to. But I don't like it if there's no end to it, no closure.
See, for me, I like the suspense because you think, oh my God, what's going to happen? But then all of a sudden you come to that end, don't you? And I get what you're saying about the next book because it creates that illusion of it hasn't ended. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you're always waiting for another one, aren't you?
Because you can't have closure, you can't finish it.
Exactly. Okay, so number 3, hardback or paperback?
Either. If it's a series, and I've got a couple of series where they're mostly paperbacks, but there is on the one series I've got 1 hardback book and it's the 4th. So you've got 1, 2, 3 paperback, small, 4 hardback, 5 small. So
how does that make you feel then, knowing that your series is incomplete?
To me, it doesn't really. Yeah, I thought it would. It doesn't really matter if you've started off with about 3 or 4 hardbacks. Then yes, I'd like that to continue. But you know, otherwise, as long as it's the book and the follow-on, I'm not really all that fussed.
See, I'm fussy with stuff like that. If it's like the continuity and the consistency of it all as well.
It looks nice on the bookshelf,
nice. Especially when the spines create a picture, or like I know there's an Agatha Christie series where it creates a signature of all of the books. That would annoy me if I had one with a signature bit and then one that was a paperback, and I'm like, I couldn't look at it.
I had some Morse videos, and it was from the magazine that used to come out every month. So when you put them, it sort of created a picture. And of course, I only got so many of them.
So the picture's incomplete.
So it looks stupid. But you know, it doesn't really bother me.
Next one, love triangles, yes or no?
I don't read that many romance books, so I'm undecided on that.
See, I do. I read romance books, and even though I do like it when it's just the dual, obviously, situation where it's just a man and woman, but when another person's writing, you're like, what's going to happen here? Like, I believe when we read, well, it hasn't happened yet, but it will in the next one, when we read A Court of Thorns and Roses, when we could start to tell that Rhysand was, when Feyre was liking Rhysand towards the end of the book, that Tamlin was like not happy. But yeah, it doesn't bother me either way, but I don't mind it when it does happen. Right, number 6, I believe, yes. Favourite book?
Oh God. Oh, now you're asking. Favourite book? It's going to have to be a standalone book, because if it's a series,
Well,
you've
it
got to
can
have
be-
the series.
Not necessarily. There can be one book in a series that you like more
No,
than
it
others.
can't.
Like,
The series, for example, the Bulgarian, each book is needed to make it a really good series. So it'd need to be a standalone book that I've probably read and read and read
and that is.
and read, and it's not even a fictional, it's a factual, and it's Manhunter.
John Douglas.
Yeah.
Okay, so my favourite book is hard because I've got more than one, but like the one that I can just always go back to, and one that I've had on my shelf for ages, and I've had this book since I was 11, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And I know that's obviously going to come and upset a lot of people, but that's what it is. That's what got me into reading, really, was that book.
Yeah.
So, that one. Okay. What's your least favourite book?
My least favourite book is one. I've read so many. I think
So many you've disliked?
no, so many books. I'm trying to remember them all. I think the one I disliked the most was Discovery of Witches, because we couldn't finish that, could we?
No, exactly.
In fact, we barely started it.
We DNF'd it.
Yeah.
For me, one that I least like was Stranger Diaries by Ellie. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
The Stranger Diaries it's called. I can't
Yeah.
remember the author's name, but
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We struggled to read that, didn't we?
We did a bit, yeah.
Okay. Number 7. The most recent book you just couldn't finish.
Discovery of Witches.
Same here. That would be my answer as well, because it was about that thick, and it was recommended to us, and we were just like, it's boring.
Yeah.
Sorry, if you liked it, but we found
sorry,
it boring.
Cassie, but you know.
Number 8. This is going to be an easy one. A book you're currently reading.
Oh, yeah, Wuthering Heights.
Mine is Mystery of Watermead Manor by J. Gill, which is like a murder mystery set in the 1920s. Can't wait. I've only started it, so I'm literally only on chapter 1. Okay. The last book you recommended to someone.
Well, when I did the review the other day, 3.
3.
By Jennifer Jenkins.
The last book I recommended to somebody was, it was a book to Joe. I recommend books all the time, but the one that stands out most to me is A Little Life by Yanagihara. And it's about, obviously, 4 university friends, and I said to her, you really need to read it. Although it's going to be a difficult read, and it's a 5-star read, but I cried when I read this book, sobbed. And I believe Joe will too. Obviously not for the same reason as Elizabeth is missing, but for a different reason. But it's a really, really good book. Okay. This is going to be difficult because I know I'll find it difficult as well. The next 2 questions are the oldest book you've ever read. Now, it doesn't mean the oldest that you own. Oldest as in written first. Like publication date.
Devil Rides Out.
When was that written?
God, now you're asking.
Just, I'll put the answer here.
Yeah, she'll have to put the answer there. I think it was in the 50s, 60s, I'm not sure.
Well, mine will be Shakespeare, because that was the 1500s, wasn't it? So, Hamlet, I think that's the oldest one. Or was Midsummer Night's Dream first? Whichever one's first, Midsummer Night's Dream or Hamlet. What's the newest book you've read?
The newest book? 3 is the newest one, because that was written during the pandemic, which means it was only recently published.
Wasn't J. Gill's as well?
No, because I think his came out before hers.
Okay. The newest book I've read, this is difficult because I'm just trying to put them in chronological order. And because the newest one I brought, is it Richard Osman?
Yeah.
The Man Who Died Twice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the latest, newest one I brought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Okay. Your favourite author?
Well, I've got a couple. David Eddings. I like his books, and John Douglas and Mark Olkinshaw, because they tend to write together.
Okay. For me, my favourite author is Michael Connelly, the crime author, or J.K. Rowling.
Right.
J.K. Rowling? J.K.
Rowling.
Rowling, yeah. Okay. Buying books or borrowing books?
Both. What about you?
Well, it's both as well, but for me, buying books, I'd rather buy them from a charity shop than buy them new, and that's only because of consumerism and stuff.
Yeah.
But if there's like a series that I see that's really cheap, I don't know, £4 for £6 or something, I'll buy them.
Yeah. I don't mind borrowing, because I mean I was a member of
We
the
swap books all
library,
the time,
and we
don't
do swap books,
and
and
we borrow books from
yeah.
the library as well.
so
Okay.
you know.
Okay, this might be a hard one for you, but I'll ask it anyway. A book that you dislike that everyone else seemed to love?
Yeah, sorry about this, but it's an Andy McNab book.
Okay, I've never read any Andy McNab anyway.
Sorry, Andy. I doubt if you're watching this, mate, but if you are, I really am sorry, and I really do admire you and think you're brilliant, but I don't like your books. Sorry.
Which one in particular?
All of them.
Okay. For me, it was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Although we did read it,
Yeah.
and we seemed to get through it quite quickly. It was in about a week, wasn't it? We read it. It was just the fact that it was so boring. And from what I've read, other reviews state that the first book didn't need to be written. That book 2 is actually the best one in the series. So I might read book 2, I might not. I don't know yet, but it'll be the first one in the Court of Thorns and Roses series. Okay. Now, depending on how you answer this question, Joe, depends on our friendship. Okay, because you know what I feel about this. Bookmarks or dog ears?
Oh God, bookmarks.
Good.
Even
I
I
knew
wouldn't
she was
want
gonna
dog
say
ears.
that. I hate it when people like
No.
fold
It
over the corner.
ruins
yeah.
it. It ruins it.
Don't ever do
I
that.
don't
Bookmarks
like it.
going all the way.
I would never do that.
Right. A book that you can always reread.
Now this is a book I had from Sunday school. I won it for attending Sunday school 144 Sundays. I don't know how they worked that out, but I did. And I was only young, and it's called The Adventures of Binkel and Flip Bunny by Enid Blyton. And it was lovely.
Have you still got it?
I bought another copy because I don't know what happened to the original.
Oh, that's good. That's nice and heartwarming. That's really good to hear. Mine is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I'd always read that. And it's a 30-minute book, so yeah. Started reading it in school, then read it at A-level, and read it at university, and now I've read it outside in my adult life, so I've read it about 4 or 5 times. Right. Can you read while listening to music? Or,
Yes.
Yeah. I can't have any noise when I'm reading. If the TV's on, I have to pause it. Or if music's on, people talking, that is the worst thing.
Oh, I can't stand people talking to me
Because
because
they're talking like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, stop
I was waiting for a train. I've got to go to London for some training thing or other, I forget now. And so I was waiting for my colleague who was coming with me. And I was waiting for it at a closed cafe at New Street, and I'm sat there and I'm reading, and this bloke comes up. I mean, he could have sat anywhere. And he comes up and I'm reading, and I'm really reading this good book. It's a brilliant book. And he starts talking to me, and I went, I'm reading. And he said, but I want to talk. I said, I'm reading. And he said, but I really want to talk. I said, well, go and talk then, but don't talk to me. And I know it sounded rude, but A, I didn't know him. B, it was 5:30 in the morning.
Well, people can see you reading, so why don't they talk to you?
Exactly. If they say, do you mind? you know.
And the time you put your bookmark in your book and close the book, that's the time to talk to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it
If
truly
that's
does
not,
nice.
if you're in a cafe, you're having a hot chocolate or, you know, just having a drink and you're reading, don't speak to me because you'll annoy me.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't. I can't avoid it.
Okay. One or multiple point of views.
Multiple, I think.
Me too. Like when we read You, I really like that.
Yeah. Well, until the ending was
Yeah,
rubbish,
obviously.
but yeah, because you could interpret various, couldn't you? And yeah, I like multiple.
Okay. Would you rather prefer to read a book in one sitting or over multiple days?
I have no preference because if I'm really enjoying the book, I'll just carry on reading it.
Well, for me, it has to be the multiple days because I don't have time to sit
No.
down and read a book in one sitting most of the time. So it can be a couple of days, it can take up to a week depending on the size of the book. But for me, although I do like Joe, if I'm liking the book, I'll continue to read. But then obviously there has to come a limit, doesn't there? I need to go to bed and get up and go to work. Or of an evening, I need to do other stuff. But yeah, it will be multiple days for me. Okay, last question. A book you've read just because of the cover?
Oh, book I've read just because of the cover. I don't know. I don't think I've ever read one just because of the cover.
I am. I'm just trying to think of what it's called. Yeah, it was shiny on the cover, and I was just trying to think what it was. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember the name of the author, and I picked it up. Really enjoyed the book. Haven't done a review on it because I read it for pleasure. But if you've read it, you know the book I'm on about. I'll put a picture here. So, thank you, Jo, for answering those questions.
You're welcome.
I hope some of the questions resonated to you and that you enjoyed, and you can put your answers down below as well if you want to take part in it, or if you've got any questions for us, just comment on this video, or comment over on Facebook, which Jo regularly updates, or on Instagram, which I regularly update. And obviously we'll be more than happy to answer some questions, and maybe if we get enough we can do another video based on your questions as well. So thank you for watching. Keep reading, guys, and take care. Bye.